Yeah, today, guys, I want to talk about how to get high-paying clients on Fiverr. I always like giving little intros about me, just so you have context. Because if you didn't have context, then you wouldn't know what questions to ask. So here you go. Here's the secrets of the elusive James Smith. Yes, I have two generic first and last name. I'm basically the John Doe, but it is what it is. So back in the day, I built my first website in 2001. 2001 was filled with a lot of lime green. So it was very different back then. It was hard-coded HTML. There wasn't MySpace even, so it was way different back then. Later on, between then and 2010, I did some development. I coded video games for fun, stuff like that in the tech world. In 2010, I started the current marketing company that I run right now. It's Bright Idea Marketing. So I've been running that for almost 10 years now. I ran SEO, I did Google Ads, I developed websites, and I built a tracking software in the meantime. 2017, 2018, I decided to specialize in Facebook advertising. So that's 100% what I do now. Everything is focused on helping clients get more leads through Facebook ads. The reason I specialize in Facebook ads is it's very difficult to keep up with the weekly updates that happen on just Facebook alone. So by specializing, I'm able to kind of stand out from the crowd. And we'll talk about niching in just a second because that's important for Fiverr as well. The dirty details. So I've worked with Fortune 1000, largest agencies such as BBDO. I was actually in negotiation with BBDO. If you guys aren't familiar, they're like one of the top 10 marketing agencies. They're like 40, 50 billion in revenue. We weren't able to put a deal together, but it was very interesting to kind of see the inside of how all that stuff worked out. I've managed accounts exceeding $100,000 a month for just one account. So I've seen a lot of stuff when it comes to scaling. Industries I've worked with, marketing agencies, auto dealers, attorneys, solar manufacturers, installers, all the fun stuff in between, life insurance, and many, many more. All right, so let's get to good stuff. So I want to ask you guys a quick favor. If I could just get a response in the chat. First of all, I promise I'll show you absolutely everything about how I get clients on Fiverr. But in return, all I ask is you don't view my Fiverr page because it can hurt my stats. So I'll show you everything. I can show you screenshots. I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I use. If you just not go to the page because that'll mess up a lot of the stuff. And then also, I'd love to ask your permission to ask you what kind of advice that you've learned tonight. It's always important to me to know that I'm actually helping you guys. So that'll help me tailor future conversations. So is that okay with you guys? 1 and 2? Can you just give me like a yes or something in the chat? Okay, sweet. All right, thanks guys. Cool. So, all right, so what are the benefits of Fiverr? So basically Fiverr is free advertising. It doesn't cost you to post your stuff up there. They do take a fee when you get the job, but there's no upfront cost. The great part about it is you can set it and forget it. The only thing is you must do it right the first time. And I'm gonna walk you through some of the details of what I did. And I'm gonna show you some comparisons of other accounts versus what I've been doing. And you'll see exactly what's going on. And what I'm doing is going to take a little bit more effort. So just do it right the first time and you don't really have to touch it. I probably change my account once every 6 months, and that's just tweaking a few things here that I forgot about or I missed, or just little changes like that. It's actually a higher conversion because the trust is built into the platform. I'm used to doing 2 to 3 call closes with new prospects. So as a prospect comes in, I'll get on the first call with them. It's basically a discovery call. Then it'll be a follow-up call with some ideas and direction we're going to take them. And sometimes they push it to a 3rd call before they become a client. On Fiverr, there's an inherent built-in trust. You can start getting badges. You can start ranking a little bit higher, so people trust it a little bit more. And I've just seen people close a lot quicker than through the traditional method. And the next great part is you can actually qualify people before wasting your time on the phone. And that's part of the sales process that I'm going to show you that I do when people come in through Fiverr. Okay, so here are the stats that I saw in Fiverr 2019. This is my own personal account. And what you'll see here is, this is not going to be your whole business. This is not going to 100% support you. This is not going to, you're not going to be able to build a huge team around you from the leads that you get on Fiverr. But again, all the advantages that I said before, this will be great for supplemental income. So I just want to give that disclaimer. These are the real stats. So yeah. So the number of leads generated. So first of all, I want to qualify what a lead means. A lead means if someone reached out to me via message saying, hey, I'm interested, tell me more. So I consider that a lead. So number of leads that I generated last year was 52 people. The percentage that I turned down, I have pretty high standards when it comes to bringing on clients. They have to be doing a certain revenue amount. They have to have a certain sales process in place. So, 80% of the market for me is not compatible with what I offer and how much I offered for. So I turned down 70% of these people up front. But that's the great thing about this is free advertising. You can turn down as many people as you'd like to have or not have. Number of closed business. So we got 6. The average client was $1,200 a month. So revenue generated was $6,500 a month in recurring revenue. So since I sell Facebook advertising, it's obviously a month to month. And as long as things start working or continue to work, then they stick with me. So the $6,500 a month, the majority of those people, with the exception of I think one person, is still with me to today. So yeah, $6,500 a month, still pretty good. Cost per acquisition, this is a big one for me, $0. All right. So what did I do differently? So I listed out all the different things that I did differently after looking at a whole bunch of other Fiverr accounts when I first started. So the thumbnail, the gig title, the video, pricing, description, the initial message I sent to them, and then the sales process afterwards. I got a bonus after this too. So the thumbnail. Actually, before I go there, there's a slide missing. So the first thing I did was I decided a niche that I wanted to go into. So what I recommend you do, in fact, let me get a gauge of what everybody does here. Tell me in a word or two, what service are you offering to your clients? Is it SEO? Is it web development? Just give me an idea of what it is you guys do. Okay, WordPress, web dev, white label, omni-channel. Okay. All right, so web development, white label, omni-channel. So by omni, so give me an example of omni. What's one example of a service that you offer? SEO, blogging. Okay, perfect. SEO. Right, great. Okay, good. So the reason why I asked that is you may offer multiple services, but to be successful on Fiverr, you need to be very specific in the services you offer. Now you can create multiple gigs and you can say, I do blogging, I do SEO, I do web development, but each gig, you can't say omni-channel because it's too generic. And the person that's looking on Fiverr, they're not going to be searching omni-channel. They're not just going to be looking for marketing. They probably have an idea. A lot of them will have an idea of what platform they want to go after. Like if they want to do Facebook, or if they know that SEO is going to be great, or they need a website. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you create a gig, get very specific. So specific would be blogging, SEO, web development as an example. So once you pick your niche, if you will, for this one particular gig, then you can go into writing your title. Then you can figure out the category that you want to show up inside of Fiverr, which I can talk about all that too in just a second. So first thing you need to do is pick a niche, pick one service that you're going to make this gig for. Again, you can make multiple services, multiple gigs, but start with just one. All right, so first thing is the thumbnail. What you want to do is you want to have a picture of your face. When you look at Fiverr, and I'm going to show a screenshot here in a second, there's going to be tons of nice graphics. There's going to be some text overlays, some really fancy stuff going on, but there's very few faces. And statistically, it shows that people actually respond and pay more attention to people, to faces. So if you can show your face, you actually will stand out from everybody else, and it can help create a connection with people. So the next thing I do is I put a text overlay over what the service is. So I literally put, I will run your Facebook ads. And this is the thumbnail that shows up inside of Fiverr once you do a search. So let me show you the screenshot. Okay, so here's an example of how I'm showing up versus everybody else. Now, there's one person that has a little photo here, but it's pretty small. It's almost the size of their profile photo. But if you were to be scrolling through tons and tons of graphics, you'll see a lot of the standard, laptop, desktop screenshots, the person's logo, laptops again. It all kind of just blends in together. And if you're just scrolling through, nothing's really going to stand out unless you have a picture of you and you can actually read the text. Where's my mouse? There it is. You can actually read the text of what you're doing, because people like to skim. They're not going to sit here and read, I will build your web presence starting at $50. I will build a professional. They're not going to read that stuff. First thing they're going to look at is the picture. So you need to grab their attention. Okay, so the gig title. You need to describe exactly what you do. So that goes back to the niching. Once you've figured out what that one gig you're going to do, and what that service is going to be, then you need to be very specific. Like I said, I literally said, I will run your Facebook ads in the picture. The gig title is, I will run your Facebook ads and build a full marketing funnel. So it's very specific, very straight and to the point. There's no question about what I do.
James, can I ask, is there a character limit to that description?
That's a great question. I don't know what it is. There is. I just don't know what it is, to be honest with you.
And then next question I'm going to ask real quick. Sorry to interrupt your flow, but should you start with a low dollar offer to be successful on Fiverr?
The short answer is no, and I will get to that in just a second, actually.
Okay.
I'll definitely make sure I point that out. But the answer is no. Okay. Gig title. So the format should be, say, I will XYZ for you. So insert your service here. So it's very, very specific. So for the person looking for that specific service, they read it and they're like, yes, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, video. So on my profile, I actually do a video. It's about 1.5 minutes or under. And I don't have any case studies in that video, but I have a few screenshots of case studies on the profile. So basically it's me walking around with my cell phone and showing my personality. I'm just looking at the camera and talking to them, talking about the pain points and how I can solve their problems for them. So if somebody comes in and they say, if you have a gig about web development, you basically want to start out with, hey, I'm John, we'll say, and I help companies who want professional websites that can help get more clients. Something like that. So talk about the pain points, talk about the opportunities at the upfront of the video. And this is getting into copywriting. That's a whole nother story. You can ask me questions about that later. But the big thing is I would do the camera style, the selfie style, Tai Lopez type, and talk about the pain points and the problems that you can solve for them. Okay, pricing. So the way that I set the pricing up was higher from the beginning. And the reason being is when you're on Fiverr, you're going to get a lot of people who are frankly very, very low quality. Like they can't afford your services. They don't really have a business, or they're just starting it out, or they're just thinking about it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you qualify those people out. So pricing yourself a little bit higher is the best way to do that. So if you have if you're more kind of the upper end, the higher tier services, in terms of prices, only the people who are a little bit more serious are going to talk to you. Now you're going to still get people coming in that are not quite there. They don't have the budget, whatever it is. But you don't want to deal with the sheer amount of volume of people who are they're on Fiverr because they're thinking they can pay $5 for something. So you don't want that mindset coming in. So higher price signals higher quality as long as you can back it up. So I always say this, make sure you charge a little bit higher on the services, but I ask of you for the marketing industry, and I'm sure you guys are all, you know, you've seen a lot of those companies out there that are very kind of manipulative. They don't really know what they're doing. If you could just make sure that you back it up and you have a good provider, which I know you guys do, then make sure that, you know, the pricing reflects that. So my normal pricing, whenever I work with a company outside of Fiverr, it starts at $1,000. That's the lowest that I'll go. That's just my personal pricing. So my gig goes with the following. So I have one package, the lowest package is $395. Next package is $750, and the highest is $995. Now, the reason why I picked that is because $995 is kind of like, if you get above 1,000, then people start thinking, okay, well, this is definitely not for me. You probably won't get any responses, right? Now the $399, this all comes down to the sales process. I've never sold anybody on the $395. And you know, you might think, you might worry, okay, for $395, I can't make any money. Don't ever sell it for that price, but list it out there. And that's part of the sales process of consulting with them and making sure that they understand what they're actually getting. So that's my 3 pricing tiers. They have standard pricing tables inside of Fiverr, and you really can't change much of it. So I just keep it pretty sparse. When you select your service, Fiverr has pre-selected or options that you can just select however you want. Okay, description. First thing you want to do is you want to talk about the customer problems and then the solutions up front. Don't talk about you, talk about the problem. Talk about the reason why they're there. They don't care about you yet. They care about their problem. Like, that's why they're there talking to you. And then after that, after you talk about that, then you can talk about yourself and your credibility. So transition to how you've been able to solve those problems with case studies. If you guys have case studies, which I'm sure you have plenty supplied to you, then put those up there in the description. If you can, have pictures of the work that you've done. Make sure to mention any objections or questions that you might get and talk to them about. So some people might object about turnaround time, like how quick can you get this up? You know, some people might just be asking, you know, what do I need to give you beforehand? Write some of that stuff out there in the description so there's no question. And then talk about why you're unique, what makes you different, what makes you stand out. And all these things will really help you. I'm sure you guys have heard this phrase, but the confused mind never decides or makes a decision. So the reason of all this description is to make sure that people don't have any question about what you do. There's nothing weird about it. They have a full understanding so they can feel comfortable reaching out to you. Okay, so my initial message, this is very, very important. There's 2 types of people that reach out to me. The first one is they're just generally asking questions, and you can kind of tell they're kicking tires. So when they send me that kind of message, I usually qualify them up front and ask a question or 2 about their business. So an example might be, they say, hey, I'm looking at your service. I'm looking to get Facebook advertising done. What do you need from me and to get started, or something like that? Actually, that would be more specific. But if they're asking, like, you know, what do your services cost? How long does it take for it to work? Answer the question, but then reply back and say, you know, tell me more about your business. What industry are you in? How many sales are you doing? Things like that to help qualify them. And that'll help them start the conversation, ask with basic questions. And then eventually, after you've built up enough rapport over messaging, then you can push them to these different methods that I'm about to talk about. Now, number 2, if they do say, how do I get started, or what do I need to get to you? It sounds like they're ready to buy, but they just have some questions. So these are what I call the red hot leads. So here's what I do. This method is just what's worked for me. I usually require a $5 consultation before getting started. So essentially, as I'm messaging back and forth with them, I've had a few people who just buy the service, the package right away without talking to me, but it's very, very few. So what I say is, hey, this is kind of the foot in the door, but let's start out with a consultation for us to be able to chat. This is part of the Fiverr system. Is you can't talk to somebody, you can't send your phone number, you can't send your email unless you're doing an active gig together. So I tell them that. I say, hey, so I'd like to talk with you first to make sure I can actually help you. I can do the minimum $5 consultation so we can get on the phone and chat, right? So this is where you qualify them and truly, truly sell them. Now, I just want to note, some may not be ready to buy, and some may not need to call. You can qualify them over message, then that's fine. Don't force a consultation if they're ready to buy already. Now, one thing I want to mention here is, you know, I'll leave that till the end. Okay, so here's my sales process. So this is kind of after the call, and this might be something that Mike might be a part of, depending on your situation and how you're set up with him. So my process is, I want to qualify them ahead of time. I want to let them know that I don't work with everybody. I want to work with people who I'm confident that I can deliver for, but also I want to work with people that I feel is compatible with me. When you're on the call, you also want to sprinkle in case studies. So for example, if somebody says, hey, so I just started out with, for me, for Facebook advertising, they say, I just started out, I just created a Facebook page. Is that going to be a problem? Or, they just say that in general, I just have a Facebook page that's just with no likes. I'll throw in a case study. I'll say, great, that's not a problem. That's actually works out fine. I had a client a couple weeks ago. They started out with no page. Now they're generating 30 leads a week. So that's sprinkling in a case study inside of your sales pitch. Number 4, most important thing is to find out their specific pain points. Find out why they're reaching out to you and ask them ahead of time, why are we on this call today? Have them answer and talk to their problems. Usually it's one of the following. It's, I need to grow my business, or I can't pay the bills, or, I want to support the family, or, something like that. Those are some of the pain points that people are going to mention. Okay, so actually, before I go any further, does anybody have any questions so far? Is it pretty straightforward?
I got a quickie, if you don't mind.
Cool, yeah.
So those people that you qualify and get on the phone, now's your opportunity to give them your personal contact information. Do you do that, or do you still continue doing the transaction through Fiverr?
Good questions. So, so for the purpose of the recording, I would follow the terms of service as you should. I'm not saying that I do some business through Fiverr. I'll leave it at that. The algorithm also looks at that too, by the way. You can actually start ranking and get badges when you do enough gigs in a certain time frame on Fiverr. So at least do that. I won't recommend otherwise, but there's many ways to make things happen.
Okay. Recurring revenue. I have a high value, low dollar offer that we utilize now, and it involves a small recurring revenue a month, about $100 a month. Does Fiverr attach that as well, or that's separate above? In other words, we do the web dev first, and then we start charging the recurring revenue. So does Fiverr get involved in that recurring revenue money, or no?
That's a great question. So yeah, for recurring stuff, I usually find other ways to work with them because it gets very difficult, to be honest.
Okay.
So, yeah, especially for $100. So, I'm sure you know this, but Fiverr takes out a certain percentage. It's either 15 or 20%. So, that is quite a significant amount. But yeah, I'll just play it however, you think is best for you, but, read between lines, I guess.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. All right. So what to watch out for on Fiverr. Contacting outside messages can get you in weird situations. Just so you guys know, if you start typing in your email or your phone number, or they type in their email or phone number, Fiverr will actually start warning them that you cannot do that. A lot of accounts get shut down by doing that. So this is why I like doing the $5 consultation, because now you're officially in business together, and you can contact each other as you will. So be very careful about doing that. I have not been banned, but a lot of people who've reached out to me who tried to give me their information, they've been banned and their account has been disabled. So the next thing is, a lot of leads will not be high quality. Watch your time carefully. Now, I will tell you, the largest client that I have that's from Fiverr, They did $160 million last year. So there are big companies out there. They exist. And he's been with me for almost like a year and a half now. So there are some high quality clients out there, but they're just rare. So, just talking about the pricing again, that'll help filter some people out, but just make sure you don't waste your time. There's going to be a lot of people that don't have the money. Next is your statistics and your views will fluctuate massively. Do not rely on it being your sole source of income. What I've noticed is it's a very strange trend. I'll see, you can look at your stats of views. I'll see my stats go like really great for like 30 days or 45 days, and then it'll just tank, and then I won't get any leads for like a month or two. And then it'll come back up, and I'll get some great leads, and then it'll disappear. So just be aware of that. It's, I guess, technically like any other marketing channel. It's not going to be as consistent, and you have a lot less control here on Fiverr. And then the last part is make sure you categorize properly per gig. Think of this like Google. If you wanted to rank for something, keywords is where it's at. So if you're selling a website development project, make sure that your category is specifically inside of web development. And that way Fiverr will make sure that it'll put you in that right category. Okay, so that's everything. I'll open the floor up if you guys have any questions. Obviously, it's really short. There's not too much to getting Fiverr right, but if you make some of these mistakes that I talked about, then it can really make it really difficult. But anybody have any questions?
I have another one, if everybody doesn't mind. How do you become pro verified?
Okay, so pro verified. So Fiverr is a very part-time attention for me. I don't know. I don't really focus on that stuff. I focus on talking with the leads, getting the response time as low as possible. So the details of what they're offering now, I don't know. I just know what I do and what I focus on.
Okay.
Wish I could answer that for you, man. Anything else?
How long did it take you to start getting some clients after you first posted the gig?
Great question. It took me probably maybe a week or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I recorded. It took me a couple days to record a video, and I just recorded a couple times to get it right. But yeah, the second I published it, with the thumbnail, with the video, with the price range, Fiverr gives you the benefit of the doubt when you first publish something. So they'll push your gig to the top in the very beginning. So that's where you need to have all these other elements in place so you can keep that momentum going.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Michael Palacci, I went ahead and I found an article that talks about how to become a Fiverr Pro, and I posted that in the comments.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, I'm reading your message here, Michael. We help establish word of mouth tradesmen get rid of the pain of website shame with conversion focused on website pages.
Yeah, so I just threw that up there just so you kind of understand the gist of our high value, low dollar offer. Most of these guys in construction build their business on word of mouth, and they don't know digital marketing. They don't care to understand digital marketing. They don't think they need digital marketing. And 9 out of 10 times, they're right. They built it on word of mouth. So we're trying to offer them, something for that guy who hands out a card and says, call me, but don't look at my website, that kind of guy.
Right.
And there's a lot of them. We all know them, deck guys, lawn guys like that. So that's what this offer is for. And I'm just wondering if Fiverr would be a good lead gen channel for it.
I think so. Yeah, just, obviously with the nuances of what I just said earlier, but, obviously the first thing I would do is, I love how you wrote that out. What I would say instead is just simplify it even more and just say, we help construction companies build professional websites that get sales or something like that. Something even shorter.
Yeah, no, that was the first draft of a UVP. So
yeah, no, I love it. That's great.
I'm trying to get it to the 6-word UVP, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can. It takes me forever, but Yeah, that's the hardest part for me. Like I can dump a whole bunch of text and content. I'm like, this is what I want to say, and it's like this.
Yep.
Then it takes like 3 days to say, okay, I want to say it this way. So yeah, no, I definitely think it's worth a shot. You know, honestly, you guys, it would take probably a day to set all this stuff up. You know, the video recording is the hardest part, and even that shouldn't be too difficult. So, I mean, I'd say set aside a day. If it works, then great. That's awesome. You got free marketing. You know, if it doesn't work out, then you know you can keep tweaking or let it go. But yeah, that's just how I view Fiverr. Yeah, it's been great supplemental income for me, but it's not my only source. So.
And I want to throw out there, guys, that one of the offers you could potentially put out there, if you don't want to necessarily label a specific service, is the competitor analysis that we run for you guys. I have absolutely no problem if you were to list that out there, want to charge, $450 or something like that. That way you could make sure it's a higher quality lead, not someone that's just, hey, it's $5 and then we're wasting our time with a lot of really low quality folks. But if you wanted to list something else like that out there, I think that would lead into some good conversations.
Mike, so what's in the competitor analysis report?
Sure. What's in that is, in essence, they list their top 2 to 3 competitors. We show them all of their rankings that their competitors have. What are all the keywords they rank for up to the first 30,000 keywords on the first 10 pages of Google. So we've given them, all the keywords, search volume, cost per click, URL specifically ranking. And then we also show them their Google ad campaigns, their competitor Google ad campaign. What keywords are they advertising on? What ad copy are they using? What position are they bidding for? What's the cost per click? What's the landing page URL, so they can look at the specific landing page. And then it's a nice little high-level report of comparing them to those top 2 to 3 competitors and total traffic volumes and things like that.
Wow. Okay, that's so that's like basically, so the gig title there would be discover where your competitors are screwing up and how you can take advantage.
There you go.
So Mike, I kind of missed the beginning of that conversation. So you use that on Fiverr as kind of a lead-in service?
We don't know, because we don't really go out and target direct business. But that is something I'm suggesting to you guys to take this training and to be able to execute and make that offer. The main thing I'm saying is, hey, if you decide to take that competitor analysis we provide to you guys and push that out there underneath your brand in Fiverr, is just make sure it's of good quality. I would list it for $450 or something like that. I wouldn't make it $5 and then drown in low quality folks.
Right.
One more thing I want to mention, and I screwed this up and I can't change it now. So I want to point this out to you guys. If you can see my name, my profile name, XARCHMAML. I did that because I built the profile years ago. Put your name instead. Don't put your company name. People are on Fiverr looking for people to work with personally. It's a very easy transition for me to go into, I have a company, I have a business, we're professionals, we know what we're doing. But at the forefront, you're putting your face on the front. Just, put your name and don't do some weird username like I did. That might help. Okay.
Notice you were a level 1 seller and the person 2 spots away from you was a level 2. What does all that mean?
So level 2, okay, so the different levels. So level 1, you do not get when you first start out. Level 1 requires a certain number of gigs done in a certain amount of time, that you have no negative reviews in a certain amount of time. You have a certain number of positive reviews. It's basically how much business you do. It's accumulation of all those things, right? So as a level 1 seller, I get certain advantages, like I can get paid a little bit quicker than the person just starting out. I just have 5 reviews, but they're all 5-star. So that helps a lot. What's different here, if you look at these two, if you look at the title, well, there's a lot of things here that's wrong, but Fiverr also looks at how often people view your gig or they see the thumbnail and they click on it. Mm-hmm. So a lot more people are clicking on my stuff. So the reason why I'm ahead of this guy is, first of all, a lot more people probably like the face. They probably like the text that I was talking about. It made more sense. But second of all, the category. So I typed in Facebook funnel and Facebook ads as my category and my keywords. So this showing I will build a professional WordPress website has nothing to do with Facebook or funnels.
Right.
So relevancy is higher. So that's why you're seeing this here. And level 2, that just means he has more testimonials. He has more gigs that he's done. He just gets little fringe benefits that frankly don't make much sense after level 1.
Oh, so a level 2 seller is better off than a level 1?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I don't worry about that. It's really setting the profile up properly the first time, and then just kind of letting it run. You can be more proactive. You can keep creating new gigs. I've done a couple different gigs, but this one's what's worked best for me. I'm sure there's people out there that they nerd out so much, and there's way more that I don't even know. But like I said, this is what's working for me.
I'm just gonna, kind of mention to you guys, it's all about creating a lead-in service, that gets you that contact in the first place, pays for the lead, and then you can better qualify them. So, I mean, you can do a lot of things, depending on what you guys do internally, that leads to the upsell of what we do. So, or you could use the competitor analysis, but I could very easily see using, logo development as a lead-in to generate the initial contacts, things of that nature. So feel free to kind of experiment with this. And then James, I know that you wanted to kind of hit on just the fact that you provide lead generation services for agencies. So I wanted to call that out. Where's the best place to contact you if they need you?
Yeah. So, so guys, I hit Mike up yesterday, always last minute, but, I said, hey, we've got people here who are looking for new customers. So I do a lot of work with other agencies, and, I've built quite a few funnels inside of Facebook. I generate almost 100% of my business, through Facebook. The only other percent is Fiverr, and referrals, of course. So I help other agencies generate their own leads. I'm thinking about starting a program. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like, where I can either sell leads or sell appointments to agencies who are looking and need leads. I'm just starting to figure out to see if it makes sense. But if any of you guys are interested in getting leads that are appointments that have been set, then feel free to shoot me a message or text me or whatever you want to do. And just let me know that it might be interesting to you. I don't have all the details figured out, but I've got funnels that are working really well for me, and I'd just like to share the love and create more, and be able to sell some of those leads that I can't manage myself.
All right, thank you, James. Appreciate it. And then I think you've also done other trainings in the past on Facebook advertising. Is there a place that they can go to view those kind of videos at all?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that. So what I would do is I would go to my Facebook page, Facebook /Bright Idea Marketing. I do a lot of interviews. I do a lot of podcasts, and I cut them up. So yeah, if you have any questions on advertising in general, or how to advertise on Facebook, or just get better at marketing in general, that's usually the best place to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any final questions for James before we let him go?
I just want to say the part that I noticed the most, James, was the use your face part. That was priceless and honestly a genius idea that I'd never thought of.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Like, that alone made it worth it to me. Like the jump on, I was like, man, that's a creative idea, because you're right. That personality or that face there makes a huge difference. And I love that idea.
Awesome, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's helped a lot. I do that with a lot of other things, and it just, when you compare profiles to profiles, it makes all the difference. So.
Yeah,
so,
I like. Go ahead,
Brandon.
I was gonna say I love in-person meetings for that exact reason. Like I went to one this morning just for the fact of I knew if I showed up in person, I was gonna close it, and I do that for like specific ones I want to for sure get. And I love this. It's a digital way of doing it. I honestly don't know why. I've just never thought of that, putting my face on it, and I just love the idea.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but Brandon, I don't know if I would use your face. Sorry, buddy.
I've got prettier people on my team, so maybe that's what I should do.
Ouch.
Like, hop on the phone. I put a woman on there, and the next thing you know, I hop on the phone, I'm like, man, you got a really deep voice.
Hi, my name is Peggy. Yeah, just put up. Oh, that's a good idea. Put up pictures of Ryan Reynolds, and then just be like, "Yeah, this is Ryan Reynolds. This is not me, but he gets me business." I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Any of you take value away from this? Anybody that's not using Fiverr right now that goes, "Hey, yeah, that's something I'm going to start testing now."
Absolutely. I'm starting it like as we speak. I'm already typing up.
Love it.
No, I always thought of Fiverr as a low value, low dollar competition. And I haven't been to Fiverr myself in 5 or 6 years, and it's changed. So I didn't even think of it as a channel. And for this high value, low dollar offer, I think it might be the perfect channel for it. So I and if I have success there, maybe I'll bring my full web dev packages to Fiverr later on.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier, the biggest client I got from there is 160 million. And he just referred me to their parent company. They're doing like 500 million. So
Nice.
there's big companies out there. They're needle in a haystack, but they're there. So
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it being a good intro to certain funnels, like Mike was saying, like customer profiles. I may consider using it for customer profiles or developing customer profiles, or even website discovery. The beginning stages of website discovery to try to lead them into the next round. So I actually think it's kind of a good idea.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
I did some stats when so James, as you're doing the speech or you're going through the presentation, which was great, by the way. I was a little skeptical of Fiverr at first, but as you were talking, I got kind of interested, and I did some stats I want to share with everybody real quick. Fiverr is searched 673,000 times a month. There are 828,000 visitors that visit Fiverr a month. When you compare that to Upwork, which is close, 658,000 visitors, but they only search 246,000 times. The amount of people that are searching for Fiverr that are looking for help is tremendous. The other two competitors I found, People Per Hour and Freelancer.com, they don't even come close. So Fiverr is definitely a place where people are looking to get assistance, especially in the digital spaces.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just thought I'd share that.
That's an awesome stat. Yeah, I've done all the different freelance platforms. I've done Upwork. I've done the Freelancer. It was like probably 5 or 10 others. I like Fiverr the most because you don't have to, like Upwork, you have to send out gigs. Now you got to start paying, or to send out proposals. Now you got to start paying for it. I probably sent over 100 proposals, got one response and didn't work out. So just a lot of time. It's a time waster. Fiverr, you can just kind of set it. And if it's set up properly, you kind of sit back and just let it come to you, and you can focus on other stuff. Cool.
Well, thank you, James. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. We're going to go ahead and post this recording on YouTube channel. I'll definitely make sure you get that link so you can feel free to promote it as well. But yeah, thank you so much for all your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, James. It was great.
Thanks, James.
Awesome. Yep. Glad I could help. See you guys.
Yes.
Have a good one.